I'm Dr. Robert Melillo. I'm also the co-founder of Brain Balance Achievement Centers. I'm also the developer of the Melillo Method. I'm mostly working with families and with kids and anybody that has any sort of a developmental neurological issue. I don't think there's a more important thing that I could do with my life, and I know that because I was one of those parents. My children actually struggled when they were young, and for me, I had a lot of questions. I went around, I asked doctors and therapists and people that were supposed to be experts, what's actually happening in the brain? No one could really answer me. No one could tell me. That doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm going to try to help my own child, I need to know what the problem is. And it became an obsessive search for me because it was about my own kid, but it was also about other kids and people that had been coming to me and saying, can you help? Can you do something different? Can you at least just tell me what's happening? And so, for me, it's been a 30-year search of trying to understand some of the most complex things about the brain, about, why we do what we do, what is human behavior, and what happens when it doesn't turn out just right. And one of the most significant things was really discovering the importance of what we call primitive reflexes. That was a big discovery, and that's a big area, and that's actually where my focus of my research is now with our research team, working with a team of neurologists, some of the best in the world, and getting unbelievable results that I knew nobody else was really getting. So after 10 years of researching, I published a textbook called Neurobehavioral Disorders of Childhood: An Evolutionary Perspective, which was actually used in medical schools and graduate programs. And again, it wasn't just about understanding what's happening in the brain, it's about what we can do about it. That's the most important thing. How can we change it? I created a Brain Balance Achievement Centers, and I developed a program called the Brain Balance Program, which was essentially the operating system that was used in those centers and is used in those centers. So I wanted to give parents, first and foremost, information, but also hope, and also give them the tools, allow them to take care of their own child. I still, every day, I get letters from around the world because Disconnected Kids is now one of the best-selling books in this genre of all time, and it's sold, 500,000 books or better at this point, but it's also been translated to 15 languages. The results were amazing and quick. And the questions that they would come in mostly were, I'm seeing this, what does it mean? So then I wrote my next book, Reconnected Kids, which was about what to expect when you are going through and using these tools, that you might see changes, and some of those changes might be confusing. As the brain grows in certain areas, we may lose other areas temporarily. Some of the behaviors may look a little bit concerning or may actually make their life a little bit more difficult. The child becomes more independent in their thinking. So we needed to give them answers for that. And then after that, people wanted also to know about diet and nutrition and what they can do and how they can feed their kids. And I created my own vitamins and supplements that were specific to stimulating one hemisphere or the other. I also created music like that. We have Brain Balance Music, which again, we use music as a stimulation. I'm always creating new products really based on what the parents' needs are, what the child needs are, what the patient's needs are, or what the doctors or therapists who want to be able to do more, what their needs are. Bottom line is I'm willing to do whatever it takes to give people answers, and to give them some relief, give them hope, and to let them get results, even if they don't see me, even if they're halfway around the world. I want them to be able to understand, to feel better, to feel like they're empowered. So if you're a parent that is struggling, you have a child that is struggling, you want to help them, or if you're an adult and you were that child and never really had help, nobody ever gave you any answers, I want to be able to give you access to as much information and help and tools as possible. I've created a number of different ways to be able to get to those. One is my website. My website is very active, drrobertmelillo.com. Everything is on my website. I think that people should really focus on being hopeful and demand that you're going to get results, that you're going to get changes. And if you're interested and that's something that's important to you, I think, that's what I'm here for. That's what we're trying to provide to people is answers, hope, and real results.